here in Santa Clara Valley, our crop is harvested, we start harvesting about 1st of June, mid-June, July 4th, we're full blast, okay? Now, they pulled us out of here in May, just for the crops, so just get ready to be picked. Another 2-3 weeks, we had income coming in. Meantime, they invest all the money in the crop, or like Northern Cal or Central Cal, their crop is be harvested in May, April and May.
Okay.
But they were pulled out in April, make sure they don't pick the crop. You know, the thing is, it was really devastating to many, because after all, we just coming out of the Depression.
Right.
Just really struggling. 39 was pretty fair. 40 was coming on, and 41 was a fairly good year. We figured it was going to be a good year, because 40, a lot of people did go out 40 and bought home, bought ranch, and this and that. So, you know, it was kind of a heartbreaker when you see like the guy was saying, they can almost feel the tomato turning red. When it's about turning red, you gotta leave. Strawberries ready to be picked, you gotta leave, you know. So the thing is just, the livelihood will cut off real short. That's one of the harsh part of the whole thing. But anyway, I don't know what kind of questions you got, so maybe we should go into your questions.
Well, no, we have a few. I mean, I personally, I mean, just the, you know, the dialogue with you
Well,
is,
for our family too, our family was a little different because we were in an Alaskan coastal town.
right, so you weren't
Yes. And
harvesting
so, no,
necessarily.
we weren't harvesting, but naturally, my father had a business, he had a restaurant, and as soon as he was taken away, the restaurant had to close because some of his workers were also bachelor Japanese men, so he lost his workers. So our income really, as a family, stopped right there. But, and sometime, let's see, maybe, I don't know, if that was in December, since December, and then, I don't know exactly when, but I can't remember because I was pretty young. But we knew that they gave us, they knew that we were going to have to leave. We knew that we were going to have to leave and that the plans were that we had to go to some kind of camp. But they told us to be ready, so they said we would have 24 hours to get ready to leave, but we knew that we had to be ready. So, but, you know, that meant, well, well, when we got the 24-hour notice, we left beddings on our bed, we left food in the cupboards, I mean, that type of thing. But the way we knew that we were going to leave was we saw this Army transport ship come into our bay, because we were a little closer to town. So my brother came in during the day, and my brother came home, he says, you know, I think that's the ship. Because we knew in our minds that if we're going to leave, it's going to be by a ship. And so when an Army transport ship came in, and sure enough, we got notice that we were going to have to leave that night. So just very hurriedly, we got ourselves together and
gathered up everything and kind of went.
I remember in the bottom, in the dark, I could remember it was in the dark. But Alaska's too is, in April is still a pretty short day, you know.
Short day, yeah.
But and we got on the ship, and then once we got on the ship, there were women and children from families that were northern part of our town that were picked up. So the men, that would be children, really older children, the men, they were down, I don't know, there was some bottom place of the ship, and the women and the children were up on the higher level. So, we were able to speak to my brother. During the day, somehow, I don't know, they were able to come up to see where we were, but they had to go back down.
So was that something that happened pretty much to all of you? Were like men separated from the women and children when you went into the camps, or did you go in as families?
As a family, they didn't break up the family. Only reason why they broke up the family, a lot of them, there were approximately 4,000 old folks, men folks, was taken in because they were assumed enemy alien.
Okay.
And then they'll be a saboteur that they might, and then work with the Japanese army and so forth. So without without any question asked, they just picked them off the street.
They were
The thing
like
is,
leaders, leaders of communities.
Yeah.
Yeah, leaders of the
Most
community.
of, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. The thing is, we were, the Japanese Americans were being followed in the early 1930s. They started. They were recording where we moved, especially our old folks. They went to
Government had
Japan.
a dossier on all of us,
Yeah.
Really?
way back then, yeah.
Even starting in the
Yeah.
1930s?
1930, the Naval Intelligence Service started 1930, and by 1934, the FBI came in the picture, and they started checking us on us. Like myself, I asked for information, the Freedom of Information Act after the war, and they had my third grade school records. Third grade school record, they had my.
So they had time during the Depression, basically,
Oh, yeah.
to
Something must
devote
have been going on.
government resources to
Yeah.
follow Japanese American families.
Well,
And so when the war broke out, the day the war broke out, on the Sunday, on the Monday, they already picked up 1,000 men.
Yeah. Well,
They
historically.
already knew exactly where, like you're saying, if you were going to a friend's place every morning, saying, not today, I don't know, but that time, the folks can go to coffee.
Sure.
At Joe's and meet the cats, or when you get together. They know exactly, and then you go to Japan, they know who you saw, when you saw them, where do you eat that, where you stayed, they know exactly where you were. And they were people that were close contact with the Japanese government people, constant general, whatever it is, then they had them already tagged.
Yeah. Well, the relationship between Japan and the U.S. was very strained. I mean, you have to understand that historical
Okay.
point. You know, the war just didn't happen.
Didn't just happen, it was already building.
There was a history of strained relationships between the two countries. Just like, you know, you think about today, there's strained relationships with some of the Middle Eastern countries and, you know, and the U.S. And so naturally, you know that the U.S. government is doing some surveillance on people in this country who they
Right.
suspect maybe have
Through things like the
Yeah.
Patriot Act
Right,
and,
yeah.
and things like that, yeah.
When my father came back, my father was spent most of the war in the actual, what they was really called a Justice Department camp in New Mexico.
Okay.
When he came back to our family in Minidoka in 1944, that was the first communication we had with him since he was picked up. So naturally, we had a lot of questions. Well, what happened? When they picked you up, what did they do? You know, and so he told us, he said that they picked him up, the FBI questioned him, and he was amazed. He said they knew who he was corresponding with in Japan. He knew, evidently said in our small little post office, there must have been an FBI agent that was watching the mail come in and would write down the addresses of the people he corresponded with in Japan.
Really?
And things like that. I mean, and he was just amazed.
Because you don't feel like,
he was just a family man working every day, and you know, he never
you don't
had,
feel like your government is
he was not
paying that much attention to you.
Yeah.
None of us would think that.
Yeah, none of us would think
So
that,
many of us, right?
and that they're monitoring.
But remember, Alaska was strategically very close, I mean, to
True.
Japan. So
Mhm.
they were, in fact, I remember in 1938, I was pretty young, I'm 39 maybe, or 30 to 39, there were some Japanese mining officials came to our town because we had a big gold mine in June.
Okay.
And these mining officials came to explore some of the, they were supposedly to find out something about mining operations. Well, I think the FBI thought that these were actually maybe spies.
Spies from
And they
Japan.
may have been actually.
It's possible, sure.
Sure, you know, but I do remember that because we only had 2 Japanese families in our town, and very rarely do we see people from Japan that, we hosted them for dinner. Well, they knew all about that. They knew all about that, and they.
Really?
Yeah, so it was really interesting.
That is, that's
And so my father's
fascinating.
telling us all this, when he came back, and we're just like,